Hello, lovely pagans and listeners. I've been moved to create a bit of content today. It seems quite a dark day. The general, there's misogyny flying around and death and destruction, and it feels a bit different and a bit darker, deeper than usual, this negativity and darkness. On the 28th of September 2023, and there's a lot of pagans hurting regarding the Sycamoregaptree, a tree that was believed to have dated back to medieval times. It was excavated on 2 occasions between 1908 and 1911, and again between 1982 and 1987, where Roman remains linked to the Hadrian's Wall were found. It was a famous tree. It was on the big screen in 1991, where it was in the backdrop of the film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which starred Kevin Costner. And over the years it grew in its spirit and in its popularity. People flocked to it to see the wonder of it. It was just so striking in the landscape. It looked absolutely astonishing and breathtaking between these 2 hills near Crag Howe in Northumberland. And there was proposals and memories made, photographers, movie makers, stargazers and pagans, of course, they all went to see this tree and thank it for its beauty and its presence. It was named English Tree of the Year in the Woodland Trust Awards in 2016, and the site has formed part of the designated UNESCO World Heritage Site Hadrian's Wall since it was designated in 1987. The tree was set in a dramatic dip between 2 hills next to a crumbling Roman wall. It was 300 to 400 years old. It's absolutely beautiful. And last night somebody decided to chop it down. It's terrible. It's being left down, and there's just something about it that's really sad and huge and quite scary about what this says about society and as a whole, just how in trouble we might actually be. I think that's what's rippling throughout the country as a whole, about the state of the world and how everybody's feeling the strain. And I just felt moved to record just a little something to not only commemorate this wonderful historic Sycamoregaptree, but also to acknowledge your feelings and your hurting and let you know that I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about you, and I see the symbolism in it, and I'm feeling it too. It's quite a powerful moment in the nature-based world, and it's a big moment in paganism as well. Let you all know that you're all feeling the loss of an important part of our landscape and an important part of British history. A gorgeous tree that helps us breathe, makes us feel seen and connected to Gaia. And then to hear that it was a young person that has committed this crime against nature is pretty shocking and depressing. Only 16 decided to chop it down, probably with help. I wouldn't have thought they could have done it on their own. I never visited the tree. I know it's been in a lot of photography and film, and it is now just laying on the ground. It wasn't wind that took it down, it was a chainsaw. I don't understand what people think. In the night they decide to just go and murder this tree. I don't know, it's just bizarre, isn't it? Why would anybody do this? It's really shocking. We need trees to live. As I did my scrolling and my timeline was full of friends, pagans, hurting, I just felt like I had to come on and tell you that, we're all together in feeling great sadness and a lot of worry about how society's going, and I can do nothing but pray that nothing like this will happen again. Somebody shared a proverb, an African proverb, and it really hit home for me. The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. And I absolutely think this is what's happened. Some kids have felt not seen, not loved, and this is what's happened. This is truly a major society issue. And so I'm asking you, dear listener, although it will be really hard not to send hate out, negativity to these people, these young people, not send out negative energies. I know it's so hard because everybody's really cross, rightly so. Everybody's hurt and upset and devastated from the loss of this tree with all these memories connected. But if you can try to give forgiveness and love to people you meet, even if they make us cross in the heat of the moment and we end up losing his cool a little bit, just try and do a bit of breathing and send out love to them. It's so hard, but I think this is the only way we can change things. Just to finish off, I'd like to give you a quote from a post I found on Instagram from the account named Pulver's Apothecary, which I've been struggling to pronounce, as you know, my dyslexia, so I'll link everybody I mention and my sources in the episode description on this one. The sycamore is one of the trees of Breed, the maiden goddess of the British Isles, for Britannia is one of her names. This tragedy also brings to mind the Norse myth of the Tree of Life, a tale that expresses that the Tree of Life is directly sustained by water dew droplets that form each night due to the memories of humans which are fed to the roots and the leaves of the tree, of humans remembering and honouring their ancestors for both blood and bone and water and stone. But this tale always ends with a warning for us in the future, that there will be a time when the water droplets don't form anymore, and the tree of life will wither and die when humans stop remembering and honouring our ancestors of both blood and bone, water and stone. For it is in our honouring and remembering of where we have come from, what has brought us up into this life, breathed us into being, that sustains the balance. For it is in our honouring and our remembering what has brought us up into the life and breathed us into being, that sustains the balance. This person has clearly lost their way to the roots of their very belonging and decided to cut down a tree of life. When humans don't feel that they belong anymore, they have the capacity to commit huge acts of violence. This loss of belonging is truly for us all.